Hello, everybody. It's always a pleasure to be here. On today's episode, like always, we have an interesting guest. And today we will be dissecting the aspect of communication that you probably have not looked at. With me here, I have beautiful Ruth Enemona. She is a pastor, a wife, a counselor, and a mother. She is quite qualified and equipped to handle this topic. Ruth, I'm happy to have you on the program.
Thank you so much, Gloria.
Yeah. It's been a while since I saw you, so I have actually been looking for an opportunity to discuss with you, and this topic, I don't know anyone who can talk about this better than you. So I'm glad to have you today. What does a healthy communication look like to you?
Well, a healthy communication. Well, I don't know why I chose you for this topic, but I'll just try and put one and two together. But I think a healthy communication to me is more of being open, sharing your thoughts, your feelings in a relationship. You should not be ashamed to tell the other party your truth. You should truthfully do it and respectfully. And I think that a lot of times we mistake communication in a relationship. You know, when some people want to communicate, they think that they can do it with emotions, they do it with resentment. Some people do it, they can even not communicate verbally
And they assume they are
they are
communicating.
communicating. Actually, when you are not communicating, you are
You're also
you
communicating,
know.
that's true.
But then, I think if we are to really communicate, we should be able to voice out what we want to say. So to me,
This actually makes a lot of sense to me because there have been times when people feel that when you have a lot of words, that translates to communication, but that may not entirely be so. Sometimes you could be misunderstood, or you may not be sending the proper signal for that particular situation. So it makes a lot of sense to me. So I'm thinking, like, why do you think communication is the most important element in a relationship?
I think that is most important because we need to communicate to take the relationship to the next step, to the following step, to keep going forward in life. You know, you understand? We can't, like me and you, live in a house and then we live together, no communication. Let's say I want to go to work, I will just go to work. After work, I will go out with some other friends without letting you know. And then I'll put you in a worried mood because you will not know where I am at that particular time. You will not know what is happening to me. So I think communication is very important because it's basically why we are created. You understand? You are created to talk. You know, a baby, when a baby is first giving birth to, the first thing you hear is a cry. They will shout. In fact, the nurses, the doctors will make sure that they cry. Why are they crying? They are communicating that the baby is healthy. If you don't cry or you don't say anything, there's a problem. So when we don't communicate, there are problems, I believe, in a relationship. So communication is very important because for we to live on this earth, to develop a healthy relationship, communication is the bedrock to that relationship. So
So I am wondering, when a couple is together, there's always friction. You know, there's always misunderstanding about one thing or the other. How would they identify if their communication is actually helping the relationship or hurting the relationship?
By having an open and honest, they can communicate in an open and honest manner. If you're always having friction, what's causing that friction? If it's disagreement, what's causing these disagreements all the time? I think that a couple that has so much disagreement or friction should be able to sit down, study each other. Okay, this is how my partner wants me to communicate to them. Some partners, they don't want you to talk much. We women, we are more of the talking.
Absolutely.
The men, they don't talk much. Yeah. And like, for instance, my husband goes out, comes in from wherever he went to. I, as a woman, I'm expecting him to, I'll say, how is your day? I'm expecting him to download everything that went on during his day out. But he now comes and says, it was fine.
It's fine.
Traffic is hectic. Or you say, and then you just close the discussion. And I'm like, is that all that happened? You now say, what are you expecting?
And you'll be wondering what else you want to hear.
Yeah. A woman is, but if it's a woman, when she goes out, she will sit you down and she expects you to listen, like give your attention, and then she will start telling you, narrating from when she entered the taxi. She will tell you what the taxi man said, how two people quarreled, when they got to a bus stop, she saw this, she's detailed.
Yeah.
We're not like men. Men, they don't have that time, But women have a lot of time. They talk. We naturally talk.
So could that be one of the causes of the frictions we're having?
It could be one, because as a woman, if you notice that your husband is some husbands are not so open to communicating, it doesn't mean that they are bad or anything is wrong. It's just maybe their mood at that time, or maybe they're kind of person, that's how they relate. Maybe you could give him some time to relax, to be in their shells, and then they will come out and they'll be able to be relaxed and tell you, okay, do you know that while I went out, I saw Mrs. So this, and this is what she said. She said I should tell you. And then you but you said nothing happened.
Yeah.
But then in that state, he's already relaxed and he can say anything at that time. So that's why I said we need to study each other, so that we will know when to say some things and when not to say. When you study your partner in a relationship, you know what to say and what not to say. You know when to say it and when not to say it. You know how to communicate better. Like for some people, just sitting there and just listening is okay for them. They don't want you to say anything. They just want you to listen, and then you just listen and just be nodding. You say, is that what happened? Really? Just be looking at them and then be involved in the conversation. They are okay. But for some people, they don't want that. So it depends on each individual.
Yeah, absolutely. So how can partners navigate difficult conversations without arousing a conflict?
Partners can navigate difficult conversation by just be honest with yourselves. It all boils down to honesty. Be honest. And then, you can choose an environment for that, a natural environment. If you want to discuss a really serious matter, then don't take that discussion to a very noisy place when both of you can hardly hear yourselves. You can say, okay, I'm taking you out. There's something I want us to discuss. Then you go out to a really quiet place, and then you start telling the person. And when you start discussing, don't use like how will I put it now? Don't use accusative words. Just be like, I felt this when you did that. This is what I feel hot when you do this. You tell the person how you deeply feel without any. You say it respectfully, and you say it in a very truthful manner. When you say that, the person will not say, I don't know, I don't know this thing I'm doing is affecting you this way. The person can now relate with you when you have voiced out all your feelings truthfully. The person will relate with this person, except the person is a demon. But if the person wants to be truthful to themselves, they'll say, wow, I didn't take it like that, I'm sorry, that should come first when someone is relating to you about something that is really hurting them. And then I think by that way, when we communicate that way, we can navigate.
I particularly find this.
Stop here.
Okay, so I was wondering, individuals with different communication styles, how do these communication styles?
No, carry on. When editing, I'll take it down.
Okay. So, how do individual communication styles impact on relationships? So, the individual communication styles I'm talking about here, I'm talking of maybe the husband being an introvert while the wife is an extrovert, or the other way around. How do these differences impact on their communication?
Well, I feel that when an introvert marries an extrovert, it's good. But when you get an extrovert, I think their communication skills and style will be so bad because they will want to express themselves. I want to express myself, he wants to express himself, and then this one will say, you're doing too much. But once it's an introvert and an extrovert, the combination is perfect. Because while you could be the talking type, me I'm the quiet type, I'll be listening. While you're talking, I am quiet. While you are quiet, you are talking. You understand? It helps a lot. But when you have two introverts, they are both not talking, it's still not good. Or when we have two combinations, introvert, extrovert, it will make a lot of sense because that way they will be able to accommodate each other. They will not be in each other's neck, you understand? Someone will not be saying, you are not talking, or I'm talking, you are not talking. But they will understand that my partner doesn't talk, I'll be talking, I'll talk for both of us. I had gone to a meeting where the guy brought the lady and then he talked from the beginning to the end, and we're wondering, the lady is not talking. She'll just say a few words and then she'll keep quiet. He just said, please pardon me, I'm the talking one. I talk, my lawyer I do. That's what that's what I do for life. But she doesn't talk, so please pardon us. And God has brought us together like that. And and they blend very well.
Absolutely.
I think that it's good when we have
A combination
Yes,
of
combination.
yes, that's true. I I also agree with that because where there have been situations where I have seen a man and a woman both extroverts. Honestly, it's for me. I'm sorry to say, but for me, it's not a pleasant uh, atmosphere being in their midst because you can go to visit a family like that. You don't even get the chance to say anything. It's like both of them are dragging to tell you this or that. It can be chaotic at times. So I think it's better to have the combination. God always does the right thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So what are the everyday habits that can help boost couples communication?
I think one of the everyday habits I know is greeting. You know, kind gestures. You can say, good morning, you know, exchange pleasantries, kind gestures, like helping the other person. And I think, like, if you know the other person's love language, it will do a lot too. Like, if you know that this person's love language is an act of service, you know, you can help out in the area you know that they need your assistant. When you help out like that, you know, when they come, you say, wow, they'll be in a happy mood. Oh, thank you. I don't know you can do this, you know. It will foster the relationship, you understand? And then when the other party too notice the other one's love language, they go all the way too. And then you know, when you do that, there's no partner that will not be in the mood to communicate. It will foster. And first thing first, in the morning, one of the things is just exchanging pleasantries. You know, just say good morning. You know, you don't know whether the other partner woke up in a very bad mood. You know, for some they may not even answer, but just let it be there. Let the morning be there. To start with.
I actually agree with greeting so much because for me, where I come from, greeting is mandatory. You just have to greet. Now, if you have not greeted your spouse or your partner, what do you want to talk to them about? I don't see what you want to communicate to the person when you have not offered them greeting. So I totally agree with greeting, kind gestures, out of service, whatever it is that you know will boost the feeling of the partner. It's a very great way to help your partner communicate well. Now, how can couples express their needs and boundaries clearly without feeling guilty or confrontational? Because I deliberately added confrontational here because there are times when one of the partners brings up an issue and the other one feels attacked. So that's why I am particular about this, to know how one can express clearly without fear of feeling like they are being confrontational or feeling guilty that they even said something like this.
Well, there's a need to, when you are voicing out your need, you need to check the non-verbal ways you do that. You know, you check your body language, the tone of your voice. You know, are you you know, some people I don't want to mention names. When they talk, you think they are quarreling. Or they are quarreling. There are some people like that, but you know, you need to check that. Some people say, that's how I'm born. This is how
I
but
talk.
you know, no, that's not. we all learn from our environment.
Absolutely.
So you can unlearn also from your environment. You know, learn the right things. When you talk, how does your partner see what you see? You know, he may see it as an attack or being abusive. If he sees it like that, there's a more romantic way to say it. You say it the way he wants it. That's why I say we need to study each other. You say it the way he wants it. So you need to tell him, okay, please be my accountability partner. As I'm saying this, how do you feel? You know, ask him honestly, how do you feel? Do you feel I am being insulted? Do you feel I'm shouting? You know, you could be shouting and then you yourself don't know you're shouting. And the other partner is saying, why is she shouting? And you are not aware you're shouting. And then, you know, when you ask him to be your accountability partner, there are a lot of things that you can correct. That when you come, ask him, you will now say, okay, now she has changed. Ask him more lovingly. And you will not be attacked. And you will not feel as if you're starting on the problem.
How can one be an active listener?
I think the way to be an active listener is just by listening. It's just by listening. I read a book by Larry King. What's the name of that book again? I'm trying to remember. You know, it's about communication. And he said one of the best ways to communicate is to listen. A lot of people don't know that listening is one major listening skill, major way of communication. They think that by just talking, you know, I have to talk. If I don't talk, they don't know I'm communicating. By just sitting down there and just listen, and then you are just like, okay, is that it? Wow. The person will feel loved, and then they will feel appreciated. So I think just listen. Just listen. Sometimes you don't need to say anything. Except the person talking to you asks for your opinion. I don't think you should say anything, just listen.
So how can a couple repair a relationship and go back to communication after an argument?
Well, the first way to repair a relationship after an argument is by admitting that there was an argument, I am wrong in the way I communicated, you know. It's just by saying sorry, apologize. When you come and you truthfully apologize, then I think that relationship should move forward.
You know, there's a certain group of people who don't believe in apology. Okay, let me not say they don't believe in apology. They believe in receiving apology, but not giving. Wow. I don't know if you have met a person like that. Like, why would you not want to apologize when you're wrong, but you would want the other person to apologize to you when they are wrong? In fact, someone had told me that she would rather not make a mistake than make a mistake that will require her to apologize.
That's impossible because we are all humans.
And all humans make mistakes. And they will actually prefer to go all out to do everything humanly possible to help their partner come around, to be in good terms with them again.
Okay.
But they will never say I'm sorry.
But they say I am sorry in a lot of ways.
Yes.
I think they are trying to say it but not communicate. They are trying to, maybe their body language is trying to say it, maybe by the things they do, their actions, but they are not verbally saying I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay?
they're not verbally saying they're sorry. Now, why I brought this up is because personally I feel like you're taking your partner for granted if you are not able to voice out an apology to the person. If you were able to offend them, you should be able to apologize.
Of course.
So I wanted that to really be clear that where there is offense, there should be apology. How do you think past relationships or even childhood impact your present relationship? Like maybe someone who had a bad childhood or a very toxic past relationship, and now they are in a new relationship. How do you think that past experience now impacts on the new one when it comes to communication?
Most times, if that past relationship is not properly dealt with, dealt with from the person that experienced the relationship, that person can bring in all the baggage in that relationship to the new one, and it's going to affect it seriously because there won't be progress in the new relationship. Now you have to deal with it. If it was a problem of, let's say, if it was a problem of, let's say, cheating, and then you are the lady, you had a problem where the guy cheated on you. When you come into this new relationship, it's going to affect the communication. It's going to affect a lot of things. Because even when you're not saying it to the guy, you are suspecting his every move. When he drops his phone, you want to know who he's talking to.
Yeah.
When he smiles, it's going to affect a lot of things. You are going to be hearing a lot of things that he's not saying. Maybe you'll be picking, when he's making call, he's dropping, and then you are picking on things that he may even say. So you as a lady, you have to deal with that. That the fact that someone offended you in the past relationship or something bad happened does not mean that it has to be so in the new relationship. So you have to deal with it and tell yourself, one of the things you need to do as a lady or as a man is to tell yourself an open truth. Also speak to yourself. You can speak positively to yourself and say, have a conversation with yourself. You used to say have a conversation.
Sure.
Yes, you to have a conversation with yourself. Talk to yourself and keep yourself out of that bad relationship into the new one.
That makes a lot of sense. So, do you think there's a relationship between emotional intelligence and healthy communication?
Yes, I think there's a relationship between intelligence and healthy communication because if you are not emotionally intelligent, there are some things that when you communicate them, people will think this person is immature. Emotional intelligence is about how you express what you want to say, especially in your emotions. Like for instance, if like when I was coming here and the dog kept barking, the dogs are very sensitive to it. They know when you are scared of them.
Yes.
And the more you are scared of them, the more they want to attack you. Or if you come, you just bold and just brace up and just, the more it's barking, the more you are walking towards the dog will be like, this one. At that moment you are using intelligence that the dog does not know. But right inside of you, you are so scared, they are not showing it. You know, emotional intelligence is like that. Like for instance, if I come up now, for instance, and give you a very hot slap for no reason, how will you respond? The response is very important. Will you hold me on my shirt and start fighting? Or will you say, wow,
What did you do that
what
for?
was I for? You know, for some people they can even laugh over it.
Yeah.
Wow, that was hot. Oh, what was that for? You know,
Yeah.
if you are able to communicate that way, then there's nothing that can get you worked up. You know, if you are able to communicate in a very calm manner, no matter how upset you are, then there's nothing that can get you worked up. You know that you have conquered your emotions, you know, because your emotions, once that is done to you, what your emotions or your body will be telling you is respond with the slap, you know. But once you don't respond with the slap, and then you are calm, you won't laugh about it, then you are really mature enough emotionally to express your communication.
You said this in a way that I found so profound, because it's now looking to me like, and I hope I don't get bashed for this, but it's looking like women are less emotionally intelligent. Though we are emotional beings, but it seems like our emotions always overwhelm us. A lot of times, I think men are more logical in their decisions and in their response. That's why a lot of times you find women taking decisions and always going back to the why did I? Why didn't I think? Because of how we have allowed the emotions to just juggle with our entire being. So this next question is is really big, because I'm really counting on you for this answer.
Okay.
Yeah. How can couples balance honesty with kindness, especially when discussing sensitive topics? You know, when a topic is a very sensitive one, it can bruise the ego or feeling of the other person. But either way, you still have to discuss it. So,
You know, one of the things I appreciate in life is when I have someone that will really like sit me down and tell me some honest truth about myself. You know, whoever sits you down and tell you, I think you are doing this, you are doing that, I think that person is a very nice person. They say it's only your friend that will tell you that you're not smelling. If they are not kind to you, they are not your friend. An outsider cannot tell you not to sign. So if you see people that can tell you like deep things, they will now come out and tell you, this is what you have done wrong. This is where I see you have gone wrong. This is what I think you should do. And then after telling you, they just leave it to your decision. I think those people, they are the most kindest people you find on earth. Because in the world we live in today, everybody is about their business, who cares about it, everybody is pursuing their own goal and their own vision. But if you can see people that can tell you to your face in a very truthful and honest way, and they are kind to you to tell you that actually those people, they are gold. I'm not joking.
yeah, but I am not talking of people outside. I'm talking of your own partner. Yes.
Your own partner telling you.
Yes, telling you the truth, but with kindness, right? In discussing sensitive topics.
I think when your partner does that to you, it's a blessing. You're not all partners. Then can discuss sensitive, especially if they know the kind of person that you are. They know that if they tell you, you just start roaring like a lion.
Or you cry over
it,
it.
you cry over it, or you keep the quarrel. They will just prefer to keep it to themselves. You know, me and my husband, we were having one issue before. But you know, anytime you bring up that issue, it's as if they are using knife to like cut off my throat. But one day, he just sat me down, and when we sat down, we spoke, and I said, "Don't you think?" And then that is the most kindest thing he ever did. He just sat me down and said, "You know, this thing that you're telling me, this is how I feel. But don't you think you can improve on this? Don't you think?" And you know, that day I felt so, I can't describe the feeling. But when I went back to God, I just said, "God, is this how you feel?" Like I just asked for forgiveness. And I came and I asked him for forgiveness. I said, "I'm sorry, this is how I feel. But thank God you brought this up in this manner." You know, the manner in which we present what we want to say is very important.
Yeah.
That's why we said you can go to a quiet place, you know, be friendly. You don't come and say, "You always do this thing." When you come and say, "You always do that," you are not communicating. You are just accusing the other person. But once you come and then you make them see reasons. You say politely, respectfully, you know, you don't cross their boundaries, you know, they can be able to understand and enjoy what they say. So,
Okay, so how can couples in a distance relationship, long distance relationship, love and appreciate each other through communication, since they are not together at a particular time? So how can they exhibit love and appreciation?
you know, for long distance relationships, thank God the media has made it very easy. We have social media, we have all of that. You know, you can make calls. You can make calls for 2 to 3 hours. It will just feel as if you are talking to the person right beside you, and then it's just that you don't feel their presence at that moment. But then I think when you communicate more on phone, you can do video calls. You know, you see what the other person is doing, you see what you're doing, all of that. Then communicate that way. And you should be able to be truthful to yourselves. Tell the person, "This is how I feel. You are not here, but this is how I feel." You know, they will feel appreciated. And then I think one way also is that you let them in on everything they are doing. You know, you can let them in on everything. Be open, be honest. Don't say, "This is it. This is where I am. I'm going to this. This is my friend.
Who I am with.
Meet my friend, meet my colleague, meet my classmates." You know, the person will be free with you. They will feel totally free, and they will not feel how will I put it, as if they're in a long distance relationship. I hope that answered me.
Yeah, it does. It does. There's this pressing question I have. Actually, someone spoke to me about this once, but I want to hear your take on it. How do do you manage a difficult man when it comes to communication? Some people are just difficult to talk to. They always have an opposite interpretation to whatever you say. So how do you manage it?
For me, personally, I manage such people. I first of all pray. I pray about everything. After praying, I give oh like God. I comment. I say, wow, that's a very beautiful shoe you have there. Wow, lovely makeup. Nice shirt. I start by such
Giving compliments.
Compliment. Where did you buy them? Wow, you can show up. When you get into the person personally, you tell them what they are good at. You tell them, don't bring up anything negative. Just tell them the positives. Just tell them you are good. I noticed that the way you speak. Wow, where did you school? Wow, you must. When you tell them, they will be open to tell you more about themselves. And when they start telling you about themselves, don't shut them down. Such people, just allow them to converse with you, to say what is on their mind. And when you do that, you have drawn them away. You have drawn them. When you see a difficult person, start by commenting. Tell them what they are good at. Even if you don't know them, like you go to an office and say, that guy is very difficult. You can go there and just write your report, the way your discipline sits on you. Wow, they tailor it for you. When you start that, you're now just be wondering, what's your name? Who are you?
For every good session we have, the difficult time I always experience on this podcast is ending an interview. Ruth, you don't know how amazed I am to have sat here with you and listened to everything. Thank you so much for making time out of a busy schedule to come here with us today and to share with us. To all our viewers, this is the Gloria Effect. See you on our next episode. Bye.